didn't really think it would be a few months until the next one, did you? Well, good, because it isn't. Hey guys, welcome back to the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel with Bill, your host. Today we are looking at a game that we've actually previously already done on another system, but this time we're coming back for the harder version of it. This is the Jungle Book on the NES, and this is card number 136 in the collection. So you're probably asking yourself, what exactly is the big difference between the Game Boy version and the NES version? Well, the answer is not that much aside from the graphics being in color. The difficulty is just about the same, meaning if you remember the frustrating controls, you know exactly what you're in for, and in a much larger dose of it because this is a much longer challenge. And a much tougher one, I gotta say. How much tougher? Well, let's dive in and let's see. Okay, remember the Game Boy challenge? Well, if you do, this one is 8 times as hard, if not worse. Check it out. Using only one Mowgli, how many levels can you finish? For Pro, level 8. Yes, you read that right. Now, if you've never played this game, first of all, there's 10 levels, so that means you gotta beat 80% of the game in one shot without dying. Yes, it is extremely tough, and it's made even more tough by the fact that this is one of the most frustratingly difficult games I have ever played on the NES, and really any side-scrolling platformer for that matter. The controls are extremely irritating, almost on the level of Bart vs. the Space Mutants. Okay, not quite that bad, but you get what I'm saying. You have to hold in run while you're jumping to make most of the jumps here, and sometimes you can't connect to the vines when you're jumping. There were quite a few times when I tried to make specific jumps that I knew I should have made, but it didn't happen because the controls were terrible. This is a challenge that was so tough I had to break it into individual level segments, practice all of the levels individually, master them inside and out, and then go back to attempt the run from start to the end of level 8. I kid you not, this took hundreds. Yes, hundreds of attempts to complete. But thankfully it's done, because I am never playing this frustrating pile of garbage ever again. Sit back, relax if you can, and watch the Jungle Book on the NES. Here we go. No, I'm not joking about the hundreds of attempts. Fortunately, this first level isn't that bad. So basically what you got to do here is you're going to be using Mowgli to go through these levels and collect all of the diamonds and then get your way to the exit to face the boss potentially. Now in levels like this, you only have to collect the diamonds and then the level automatically ends. The odd levels will instant end, the even levels require facing a boss. So basically you got 10 diamonds in this first level, and the first few aren't too difficult to find, you just have to use this catapult to find them. You probably noticed a couple different item pickups, and we'll talk about some of those as we get them. Clock is always nice, that'll give you extra time. Time really isn't that big of a deal in this game aside from 1 or maybe 2 levels, and this first level really isn't that big of a deal. When you come across enemies, obviously try to kill them or get out of the way. Those monkey enemies are probably the most annoying, so do whatever you can to kill them or avoid their shots. And one other thing I would point out since we're talking about enemies here, whenever you get damaged in this game, oftentimes, as I'm sure you know, when you take damage in a game, you will have an invincibility frame that allows you to get out of the way of harm, so you don't have to worry about taking multiple shots and hits. That doesn't happen here, and that's a very good example of it right there. You can get hit multiple times in a split second because Mowgli does not have any invincibility frames. So please remember that when you get yourself into a pickle, and you absolutely will. So while I've been talking here, we've already collected 7 of the first 10 diamonds here, and the level's pretty much almost over. And the last 3 aren't that difficult to get here, so by the way, there's a grape. When you pick it up, it will restore most of your health. I think 50 to 75% is a good estimation there. So the last few are going to be way over here on these tree vines. By the way, speaking of hit detection I mentioned earlier here, hit and item detection is terrible in this game, and you're going to see plenty of examples of it throughout. Basically with these vines, make sure that you jump at the mid or bottom points, because if you hit at the top, especially if at the vines at the top of the screen, you're going to miss it and fall to the bottom, often killing yourself in the process. Very, very frustrating. So make sure you get the last couple gems here and the stage will automatically end. By the way, you probably saw a mask there. Make sure that you pick it up before getting that last gem, because you will need it when you eventually face the bosses here. So now you're in a transition in between the levels here, and you're going to get to see some bonus points. You get points for all the time you've accumulated or had left over, and you also get points for all the gems that you picked up. Not that it really matters because you only have one life in this game, and it is what it is. There's no way to skip this. The future ones will be skipped because we have the magic of doing that. But heading into this next level, it's going to be more of the same, except of course with a boss. In case you haven't figured it out, Caw, the snake, will be the boss here. So this first diamond you can see far over to the left. Watch out for the sinking platform, it blends into the tree. There's another one right there. So make sure you get 2 diamonds before heading back to the main tree, and then you're going to go all the way over to the left, and there will be a vine you can climb up. And by the way, watch out for these snakes here. They cannot be killed, at least by means of normal weapons here. You can stun them, but that's about it. As you're going up, go ahead, pick up the life. Definitely get that mask. We will need as many as we can when we eventually face this boss here. So get that, go all the way up this big tree, and you're going to actually bypass that section. Go all the way over to the right. You're going to have a diamond here, and then you come all the way left. You're going to actually jump way off here. It's a leap of faith. You're going to have a diamond, continue to go down, and get this next one here. Go back to the main tree base and take yourself all the way up, and you're going to drop off to the left immediately and go back up through the tree, and you can move on to the next part of this stage. Once you get there, you're going to head over to the left. Watch out for this monkey, kill it. Watch out for the sinking platform here. Don't drop down. That would be kind of tedious to come all the way back up. And then you're going to jump over past the sinking platform onto another set of vines here. So be very careful. Go up the vines. There's another one. Try to kill these mosquitoes here before jumping up. You don't have to kill that enemy right there. You can if you want to. By this point, you should have 2 gems left. Make sure that you are at that point, because if you get to the boss without getting all of the gems, you will not be able to fight him. So it's very critical that you get all of these gems. Here we go, moving on. You're going to have a couple purple snakes. Definitely take them out because they will give you health refills. And if this one doesn't, certainly the next enemy will. We have another monkey here with another mask. Here's another gem, and there's the final one right there. Now, here's your final grape. When you get up here, you're going to have Caw the snake. Switch to your mask. If you haven't already, you're going to definitely need it. And watch what I do here. So Caw can be pretty difficult to kill if you don't know where to hit it. And obviously, you're going to see there's a number of things he can do that can really frustrate and hurt you badly. He has that hypnotizing beam, and it will actually track you down until it hits you, so you need to be very careful with that. And that's why I recommend using the mask, because it makes you invincible. The more of those you have, the longer you stay invincible. By the way, his hit point is the neck, so definitely jump on his neck, hit his neck. That is his weak point. That's how you're going to kill him. We made that look pretty easy, but again, that's mainly because we had a whole bunch of masks here. We're going to skip through this transition, and we'll see you at the beginning of stage number 3. Okay, now we're entering stage 3, and this is definitely the toughest of the stages you've faced thus far, and rightfully so. As you probably notice at the bottom, you got some elephants that are shooting water or spit at you, so the good thing is if you fall down, you can be saved by the elephants, but you can also be hurt by them. So obviously you got 2 diamonds up here on the top left. Grab those before you start heading over to the right. I recommend going down because there's a diamond down here. You can jump these gaps, just be very careful because you can easily fall into the ground here. Now you're going to go up, there's another diamond up top. Most of these diamonds are going to be up here. Just pay very close attention to where you fall down because there are some diamonds spread down at the bottom here. Be careful of these monkeys here. Try to avoid them if you can. Usually when you have to shoot these monkeys, especially from head on, or straight on rather, you're going to put yourself at very dangerous risk. That vine is a case where I typically tend to miss it because remember, with these vines, you can't jump from top of the vine or top screen because you tend to miss because of the terrible controls. Here's another example of where you could possibly miss. Get up here, and by the time you get over to this diamond, you should have about 7 left, which is what we've got right here. We're not even at the toughest part of the level right now. We're going to be getting there pretty soon. This monkey is annoying, and you're going to see a couple areas in this game where I will jump directly on the enemy, and I won't hit them or kill them. I'll just jump right through them, and I'll take a hit and nearly die. Fortunately, that wasn't one of the cases. This is probably a spot where you could hit the bird. You can hit it straight on or at an angle. Nice thing to remember when you're hanging from vines, you can still shoot when you're on the vines. You can shoot up, you can shoot diagonally, so take advantage of that. There's no reason to put yourself in harm's way if you don't really have to. So swinging across the ropes here, not a whole lot to see. You're going to come down. This is a gem that most people will miss. And definitely get that grape because you're going to have some tricky sections coming up here where you want to have full health. You're going to have about 5 gems left at this point, and the toughest section is yet to come. Here's a bird that is unavoidable in my honest opinion. You just have to take the hit. And we got 2 of those 5 gems with a few more to go. That's a pretty hard vine to reach. You got to jump at the furthest possible point from that branch. Oftentimes I tend to miss that and fall in a hole and restart the entire run. Thankfully it didn't happen here. And we've only got a couple gems left. Fortunately, they're in pretty easy sections to reach. Just go all the way across and your final gem will be over a large gap right here. So that takes care of the 3rd stage. It was definitely tougher than the first 2 combined, but you have to expect that. And by the way, we are not even into the toughest part of this game yet. Wait until you see some of these later levels. Okay, now we enter stage 4. This is the halfway point of the game, and obviously it's going to get tougher. You want to be sure that you're starting off going to the left on this turtle shell here, and be very careful of these mosquitoes duck underneath. You're going to be going up some vines here, and you got to be very careful again. A lot of these vines can be missed if you do not jump on them appropriately. Probably take out this bird. You don't have to kill it necessarily, but it's always a good idea to take out the enemies from a safe distance if you can, because you never know when you're going to need extra health for later in the game with tougher, unavoidable enemies. So get that 1 diamond, then you're going to come down here, drop twice, then you're going to come all the way back across these rocks. Now these rocks will sink after a half a second, so you got to jump quickly. This frog is very annoying. Sometimes you can get hit even when you jump on it, so take that for what you will. Definitely kill that monkey and get the grape. Restore yourself to full health. Now you're only going to have 1 diamond picked up by this point. Don't think that just because you made a lot of progress here that you should have more. Now you've only got 2. Continue to move across. You're going to take a leap of faith down here. Once you kill this bird, come way back to the left, and then you're going to have a alligator here. This will kill you if you're not quick. So jump up when it's safe. You're going to come up over here, back around. When you get this gem, you don't need the clock necessarily, but it's always good to have more time than less, right? Here's a turtle shell. Be very careful of these fish. They cannot be killed, at least by means of a banana anyway, so be very careful of those. This is a very nasty jump. You have to jump straight up, then over. Something I haven't really mentioned yet is that these controls are very similar to Action 52, if you remember that game, and who really would want to. That's a game where you have to jump up and then start moving, because most normal games, you don't really have to worry about that. You can jump diagonally up. Yeah, not really the case in this game. So if you want to get the maximum distance, you got to have a running start or jump straight up and then move over. Very annoying. By the way, make sure you get that gem. That's an easy one to miss. Fall straight down and then come back up. Make sure, by the way, you are continuing to get these masks, because you will, of course, need them for later boss fights. So stack up on many of them as you possibly can. By this point, you should have about 3 gems left in this level. This is a tricky part right here, by the way. This frog can kill you if you don't get a jump on him quickly, so you might want to actually consider using a mask there or using a different weapon other than a banana. So you continue on here, only a few gems left to go. Most of these are pretty easy to get. You just have to be careful of the monkey here. Either jump past it, jump on it, kill it, I don't really care. Continue moving across. You're going to have one more section right here. Get this one, slide down, very quickly jump across these rocks before they sink. That's very easy to miss and forget about. One final gem, the way you get it, go all the way up, and then you're going to go over to the right, and your final gem will be over here at some point. Just take a leap of faith, and I'll show you exactly where it's at. You can go up here if you want, get the time clock, don't really have to worry about much else. We're going to go all the way far over to the right, and our final gem will be up here. Not too many tricky hazards to worry about here. You're going to have another vine you can jump onto, and there you can see there's another mask at the very end if you want to pick it up, and of course that's a great thing to get. So go up here, get the clock, watch out for the bird, and your final gem is right here past the snake. Congratulations if you made it this far. You're now halfway through. Oh, by the way, we forgot. We got a boss to worry about, and this boss is one that can kill you if you are not prepared for it, which most people aren't. So you're going to see there's some Z's down there that indicates a sleeping enemy. Well, it's going to be woken up now, so how do you kill it? What do you got to do? Well, first of all, you want to switch over to your more powerful weapons here. Here's a turtle that will take you over to this boss. Now, what exactly is it? Well, if you're familiar with the movie, this is Baloo the bear. Yes, you have to fight Baloo, kind of like in the movie, but not really. So get your stones out and shoot as many stones at him as you possibly can. You're going to jump back across. You're going to see every time he jumps, he's going to force one of these stones to sink. Eventually, this turtle shell is going to come back if you don't kill him fast enough. Thankfully, we did. Had we not, we would have had to jump on that turtle shell, and the battle would have gotten much, much trickier. Fortunately, we took him down. So we're halfway through the fight here. We're halfway through the challenge. Let's see what the next half brings. Level 5 is going to be a test of endurance and patience here, and what I mean is look at the very start. You start off on this level on the top of Blue, and you're just floating down the river. Incidentally, the same thing happens in the Game Boy version. The only difference is here you have the option and the capability of damage boosting past a large chunk of this level and saving yourself about a minute to a minute and a half. Now, that being said, this is a no-death run, and when you try to damage boost, at the place I'm going to show you here, you run the risk of dying and falling back in the water and wasting a whole bunch of time. So please, fight the urge, don't do it, just play it legitimately. This is about where you would do the damage boost right there. If you hit the bird at the right angle, you can get yourself up on that platform and you can completely skip the next section you're about to see here. But again, no death run, don't take the chance, don't waste your time. Basically, you're going to float down the river on this stupid bear for the next minute and a half to 2 minutes, and all you got to do is avoid these fish, jump on the stones when it's safe, various other enemies you're going to come across, kill the birds when you have to, and that's really all you got to do for the next minute and a half to 2 minutes. Not a whole lot else to talk about and see here, so just jump across when it's safe. And eventually you're going to run across some hippos here. I think the first one's coming up very soon here, right past this. I got 2 or 3 rocks. Here's the first one. Now the hippos will not hurt you, but they will hurt Blue, and that's interesting to note because if Blue takes 2, I think it's 3 hits, and he can sink into the ocean and you will automatically lose. So don't let that happen. You could take a hit there. You can certainly take a hit on the next one, but why would you want to? It's not worth the risk. Now you do have a frog up there you have to be careful of, so when it's safe and you're close enough, jump up there. Don't be afraid, don't worry if you take a hit. Get up there, jump on the frog, kill it, and then get the gem here. That I don't understand why I fell through the frog, but again, frustrating hit detection at its best. So you got our first gem, we got 9 more to go. We're going to jump across these huge gaps here. Don't worry, with running start, you got plenty of room here. Jump up and across. Now you're going to have not only a gem, but also a grape right there. Make sure you get both of them before you go up and continue with the next part of the level here. Here's a checkpoint, not that it matters because you're not going to be dying here, at least we hope not. Now we're moving up. This section is very tricky and annoying. You got a snake and some mosquitoes here. Just ignore them, go up over to the left. You can try to kill this monkey from the vine if you want, or just continue up and over and across. Now your next gem is going to be up here. There's no way to get up there without going through the mosquitoes, so you can certainly try to kill them like this, like I'm doing right now. And I'm going to move on across. Up the vine. Watch out for the monkey. Once you get this gem, you're going to go down through the middle of this tree and very carefully inch yourself over to the right, get that next gem. Now you're just going to be taking leaps of faith down over to the right here. You got some snakes worth grapes and clocks. This is one level where time can be a factor because you do run a very serious risk of failing and falling, and you want to have extra time to make up for that possibility here. Here's a falling branch, and oh, there's a case where I did make a mistake, but it's okay because, again, we picked up that clock. That's basically going to give us the freedom to make a mistake here and there, and you will make them on this level, I can almost guarantee it. So get yourself back over and across, go ahead and jump through or up. Either way, it does not matter. Oh, we're having some big trouble here. Not because of skill, but because of the stupid hit detection here. So this is my least favorite level, at least of the first 8 levels in this entire game here. So very carefully, inch yourself all the way back across. You're going back over to the right. Eventually, you're going to have this branch that's going to potentially fall, and now we don't have to worry. Alright, you can potentially kill this thing. In fact, I recommend doing it because it carries a mask. Watch out when it's safe. You're going to go up over, and you're going to have another gem up here, and another one up over and above this bird. So inch your way up over. Oh, that's an ugly hit detection miss right there. Can't tell you how much I hate this level, but I'll tell you again, quite a few times. Kill this bird when it's safe, and you're going to run all the way over to the left. This is a stupid enemy here that can get you hit multiple times because of the rocks. And remember, Mowgli does not have any invincibility frames after he gets hit, so you need to move quickly. Don't just stop to smell the roses, as I like to say. And we got 4 gems left, and some of them are pretty easy to get, some of them not so much. You're going to have a vine up here you're going to swing to, and actually look at our health. We're in very dangerous condition right now. Fortunately, we got that grape. There's 1 gem. The next one is going to be up here somewhere. Don't worry about the extra lives because you only got 1 life to use in this run. And you got 2 lives left, or excuse me, 2 gems left, and fortunately they're very easy to get. The first one is up here. The second one, by the way, don't get that shovel. That's a bonus level that you don't need. The second gem is going to be right here, and fortunately this is an odd level with no boss. So we're going to skip it, we're done. Now on to level 6, which will get tougher. So let's skip the transition, we'll see you over there. Okay, heading into level 6, this is Tree Village, which is the equivalent of what we did on the Game Boy version here, although this stage is a little bit tougher than its Game Boy counterpart, and you'll see what I mean. You got much more vertical base here. By the way, that's a tricky section right there. Make sure you get a full running start or you could miss that. So we've already got a few gems to worry about, 2 out of the way. The next one's going to be up here. You're going to come up, get this, and then fall all the way down and take the tree up. Your next gem will be here. Once you get this, you're going to go back to this big tree you already passed and take it all the way back to the start. Go in this hut after avoiding that stupid little snake. You're going to go all the way back to the start and repeat the cycle. Now you're going to head upwards to get the rest of these gems here. Yeah, a lot of similarities between this and the Game Boy version. Almost identical in terms of levels, not level layout obviously. The NES is much more complicated. So your next gem is down here, get it, and then carefully move yourself across. That's a case where I missed the vine, but it's okay. The stupid hit detection is annoying as hell. You're going to see even more instances of that later in this playthrough. Flying squirrels, interesting enemies, gotta say, very creative here. Alright, now we're going to continue to go up. We've got more annoying monkeys here, and this is another case of not being able to kill it despite jumping right on its head. I don't understand it. Halfway through, got 5 more to go. More flying squirrels to kill. Some of my favorite enemies in this game, I gotta say. And if you happen to kill it, great. If not, whatever. Flying squirrels aren't that big of a deal. I'm gonna continue to move up here. Watch out, this is a tricky section here. Don't let that snake hit you. Remember, these little snakes, you cannot kill them. You can only stun them. So go down here. This is also a good place to refill your health, too. Get the gem and the grape. Gonna head back up. Watch out again for the stupid snake. With only 4 left, we're doing pretty well right now. Now, bear in mind, this is an even level. There will be a boss here, and if you think back to the Game Boy version, you probably have a very good idea of what that boss is. Watch out for that shovel. Yes, I know it's a bonus level, but it's points that you don't need. It's extra lives that you don't need, so don't waste the time. Continue on forward here. Your next gem is going to be actually underneath a branch that you're walking on, so this one's easy to skip and miss if you are not paying attention. So you're going to head over, go back just a tiny bit. There's your next gem, leaves you with 3 or 2 left to go rather. Then you're going to go into this hut. Now if you think back to the Game Boy version, same thing. This is easy to miss. Go down, swing across. Watch out for these stupid birds here. You could jump on them, or you could just do this and avoid it altogether. Now, you're going to have this one, and then the next one's right over across this big jump. Watch out for the flying squirrels. Only 1 left. Kill it, shoot it, jump on it, I really don't care, or just take the hit like an idiot like this. Now, you're going to have the monkey mask totem enemies here. Now, what I recommend doing is similar to what we did with the Caw boss, the snake boss, right? Get your mask and then shoot it as many times as you possibly can with your bananas here. Yes, you could use rocks, you could use boomerangs or some other weapon, but by using the mask, you have it. Why not just utilize it here? You only have 1 more boss in this run through you got to worry about, so just make use of the mask. And you're going to see with the mask on, there's not a whole lot to worry about. The boss is almost dead. By the way, you're almost dead too. But thankfully, you got 50 seconds worth of mask left to utilize. Now, once this monkey is basically killed, he's going to split into 3 like this. All you really have to do is stand underneath this one right here, and you can just pick them apart. But with the mask on, you have the freedom to kind of get right up in their face. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. So do what you got to do, you know, take liberties, take chances. When you got the mask on, it really doesn't matter that much. By the way, each monkey that you kill is going to give you a free health refill, so don't feel too bad about being low on health, because we're basically almost done with this boss anyway. There's 2 of them, we only got 1 more to go. So again, just get right up in his face. With the mask on, you got nothing to worry about. Now even here with the mask done and gone, again, very simplistic boss, one of the easiest bosses in the game. So we only got 2 left. The next upcoming stage isn't too much trickier than the next one is, but wait till you see stage 8. Alright, here we are at stage 7. Oh, I hate you, King Louie. We're going to talk about you later. Now, fortunately, Stage 7 I don't think is very difficult in comparison to some of the other levels here. Don't get me wrong, it's still something you have to prep for because there are some sections where you can fall into holes and kill yourself, but once you've played the section and the level a few times, it's not nearly as bad as some of the other levels with these hidden pitfalls here. So we've already gotten a few of these. By the way, this level has 15 diamonds, so very similar to level 2 or 3 if I'm not mistaken. Once you get those first 3, you got a leap of faith right here, and then a second leap of faith, which may end up getting you hurt right here with these stupid mosquitoes. You're going to come down, you're going to have about, 10 gems left. You've already gotten 5 of them. Scorpions, these things are very deadly, so try to shoot them from the vines when it's safe, and then continue on up here. Another case where you can shoot an enemy from the vines, so be very careful. Now we've got a few more to go. We're going to take another leap of faith off and over to the right. Pretty big one, actually. Kill this bird, get the gem, and then you're going to slide down this little hill here. And you'll take a look here. Very carefully slide down. There's a door. Don't go in it just yet until you get that pickup. Now you can go in, get the gem, tuck down over to the right, and continue over to the left here. Watch out for this ugly looking rolly thing. Get the gem. Now you're going to go back over through this door. We've already been here once, right? But there's a vine you're going to jump up this time. Now be very careful. These enemies need to be killed from the vine, especially this bird up here, because they will ruin your day. And you're going to see there's a number of enemies up here that can cause this run to end. So do not go up here foolhardily, guns a-blazing, so to speak. Be very careful to take these enemies out. There's another monkey up here. Move over to the side. Try to kill it preferably from the ground, not like I just did. Obviously, don't get that shovel. We've only got 4 gems left here, and there's one right there. The next 3 aren't too bad, but if you mess up here, you may need to start over, and it's going to cost you a lot of time. And when I say start over, I don't mean start the run over, obviously. Alright, now go ahead, jump over here very carefully, get this gem. The last 2 are going to be very tricky. Just make sure that you don't miss them. Please don't miss them here. Next one is going to be right about over here. And then our final gem is going to be down through this hole. There it is up here. So just pick it up very carefully. And like I said, that one wasn't too bad in comparison to some of the other levels that we've been doing. But oh god, wait till this last level. Level 8. We're so close, and it's the toughest level by far. Okay, if you've gotten this far, get ready to tear your hair out and your thumbs off, because this is an endurance level. You need complete focus, and your thumbs need to be glued on tight. Now notice here, there's only 1 gem, so it seems kind of easy, right? Wrong. This is nothing but platforming at its finest, or worst, depending on how you want to look at this. All you got to do is jump from platform to platform until you get to the very end of the level. Now the problem is, I'm sure you can see, is that you only get a couple of seconds before these platforms start to fall into the abyss. And once they're gone, that's it. If you make a mistake and go all the way down, you're going all the way back to the start of this challenge here. And right now, we're about almost half an hour into this challenge. So can you imagine failing the challenge at this point? It's basically 30 minutes of your life down the drain and a hole in the wall from the controller you're about to throw at it, or the TV, or the monitor. I don't really care. This is by far one of the most annoying levels I've ever played, and it ranks right up there once again with Bart vs. the World. If you've ever played that game, at the very end, there's a level at the end of the game, no less, where you have to jump platform to platform, snaking all the way across, left to right, left to right. It's eerily similar, except I would call this even worse, because at least in Bart vs. the Space Mutants, you can take your time a little bit. Clearly you can't do that here. You need to be so meticulous with your jumps. Some of them you have to move very quickly, some of them require long pressed jumps, some of them require jumping straight up and then moving, as in the Action 52 controls. It is absolutely mind-numbing and ridiculous how precise you have to be with some of these jumps. Now fortunately, we're almost done. You can see the top ceiling there. We're almost at the boss fight here. I would wager to say once you get this far, the challenge is basically done, because the boss isn't that difficult, as you're about to see. Oh, hi King Louie, you're going down in just a second. We're going to go back. The one single gem that you need is way over here, so go ahead and pick it up along with whatever else you need. There's plenty of stuff here. And once you're ready, go ahead and switch over to the mask, have free invincibility here, and then just jump and shoot, jump and shoot, jump and shoot. That's all you've got to do, even with low mask numbers like I've got here. Watch him sing his song, do his dance, and show exactly why you don't want to be like him. And he'll go down pretty quickly. As long as you have the invincibility here, you can take your time, shoot those bananas, and it's really nothing else you got to worry about here. The only way you could take damage is by getting hit by the stupid enemies that he rolls at you here, because You probably noticed you can't get up there. It's impossible to jump up that close to him. Not that it really matters. And he's gonna go down just like this. Congratulations, I don't know how, but I managed to do this. And if you have enough patience and hairs in your head to rip out, you can do it too. This was literally hundreds of attempts. I don't know the exact number, but trust me, you don't want to know. So this challenge, 136, is now officially in the books. I'm never going to touch this thing ever again, and neither should you. Looking ahead, those lovable lemmings are still out there. Beyond that, who else knows what's going to be coming next, but we now have 49 games left to go. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. Take care, and I look absolutely forward to seeing you in the next challenge. Have a good one.